Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, who rule well and teach this truth in sincerity and in faith. Salutations to you confusion of faith brothers out there who look like the heathen nations, but you are actually of Israel, you know. So this man, this video is about every time Esau makes something, it backfires, man. So I just went and I typed in devices on the search bar here, and I'm just gonna go down and read them because I believe that there's 16 search results, right? But this will fit in directly to this article. All right, so this is out of the Daily Star. Killer robot terminators. AI soldiers will develop moral compass and defy orders. Now here's the thing. Anything that Esau develops is not going to work right, because the Most High is not going to allow anything to work right. You know what I mean? So the fact that these robots are developing a moral compass, Esau don't even have morals. The heathen nations don't have morals. So how are they going to create a robot that has morals? That's the first fuck up. You know what I mean? Second of all, why would you give a device, right, the ability to have a moral compass? See, that's why Esau has lost his mind, man. How the fuck are you gonna sit here and make a robot to try to go against other robots? Because if you think that Moab is sitting back and letting Esau make robots without him making some, you a fool. Moab and Ammon, especially Ammon, those so-called Japanese, man, they got a lot of AI technology. But anyways, it says, murderous robot soldiers will become so advanced they could develop their own moral code to violently defy orders, an AI expert claims. So a lot of those robots, right, they can be reprogrammed by the Most High. So in the time of Jacob's trouble, you know, if they try to release some robots, yeah, the robots may do a little bit of killing or whatever the case is, but over time, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is gonna come over those robots, and those robots are gonna fuck up Esau, man. And that's what we want. You know, that's all we want. We want Esau to be destroyed. You know what I mean? I'm actually about a stone's throw away from a church, you know, right now, and I'm making this video, and you know, it's really loud out here. There's a lot of cars, so they can't really hear me. But had they heard me say that, you know, they wouldn't be in agreement. They would say that Esau would lie. He would say, oh, well, the robots are going to make it better for us. They're going to make it easier for us. Which the first thing they're going to do is, when they develop some sort of robot system, those robots are going to take your jobs. So let's not celebrate. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine that? A robot babysitter? I mean, Esau has got to go, man. Esau has got to go. Period. And you see this, man. Now they want to get your cookies. Whatever, man. Whatever. Murderous robot soldiers will become so advanced that they will develop their own moral code to violently defy orders. Let's see if this will play. All right. And it may or may not play. Kind of depends. And I'm not going to sit here and waste my time on it. Whatever. Ex-cybernetics engineer. So he used to be a cybernetics engineer till he got the fuck out. Because a lot of these guys, man, a lot of these guys in the tech industry, you know, based out of Silicon Valley, San Francisco, San Jose, a lot of those companies, right? Their CEOs and their owners and their chair heads, their committee board members, right? And see, it acted like it wanted to play. But a lot of those guys, man, are starting to realize that this AI is getting out of control already. Certain algorithms can determine what you're going to buy next. They use them in on your phone. When you scroll through and you see certain advertisements, you're like, what the fuck? You see, that's an algorithm. It's just based off the fact that you may have bought duct tape, right? So let's say you buy duct tape. Amazon knows you buy duct tape. So what will they suggest next? Maybe some thumbtacks, maybe a hammer set. You know what I mean? Because Esau is always trying to predict something. You know what's the funniest thing? And this is just revealed unto me. The funniest thing is Esau is so goddamn good at predictions, right? Yet he never would have predicted his downfall. He never would have thought that 144,000 men, right, along with Yahushua in the innumerable amount of angels, they never would have figured that into the algorithm. They completely forgot about the Most High. Like, yeah, they want to make this world a utopia, but they forgot that the Most High hates them. You know what I mean? They always trying to act like they know the future and shit. How about you know that future? How about you know that that Esau, right, and the heathens are going into slavery? Thus saith the Lord, man. All right, it says, Dr. Ian Pearson predicts we are veering towards a future of conscious machines. And hell, we already have conscious machines. A cellular device, I would consider that a conscious machine. When you fall asleep, you set the alarm, right? The alarm wakes you up. If the device is on and it's fully powered, it's never going to forget. It's not going to be like, it's not like you type in to your phone, wake me up at 5 p.m., right? And your phone wake you up at 6. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Like, no, it's a conscious machine. It understands, right, that when you type in that number, it's going to wake you up, right? But if robots are thrust into action by military powers, the futurologist warns they will be capable of conjuring up their own moral viewpoint, right? Because ultimately the robots are going to come to the determination, or they're going to come to the realization Esau's got to go. Esau and the heathens have got to go, right? I seen that one of the elders had made a video and he was talking about how in San Francisco there's a company that has a AI computer program as its boss, right, as the manager. So when they first unveiled it, for the first couple days, it was doing good, and after a few days, the computer program gathered everybody together, right, and came to the conclusion that women, right, have to be eliminated out of that workplace in order for the production numbers to steadily increase. So a lot of these AI machines are smart. They're actually smart. They come to the realization, okay, women aren't supposed to be working, because that's what the computer algorithm came up with, right? So now the AI is going to be, when the AI is implemented, right, the chip obviously is going to be around if the robots are around, right? Like it could be like this, like a lot of these guys are going to take the chip, and when they're walking around in the city, they may have robot vending machines. You know what I mean? So if you got the chip, you can wave your hand over the robot and it could vend you some food. You know what I mean? And everybody who doused that, man, hey, everybody who doused the chip, man, death is right around the corner for you, man. All you Israelites talking about the FRID microchip is not the mark of the beast, man. Death is coming right around the corner, because spiritually you're a murderer for that, man. Because you leading people astray. Somebody who may be on the fence about the chip, they may join the left-hand side simply because they don't know. You know what I mean? And that lack of faith is what kills a lot of brothers, man. Faith is everything. In this, because I have faith that the Lord is gonna deliver his men from these robots, man, because these robots are able to jump, they're able to shoot with extreme accuracy. How are you gonna be able to take out a robot? Well, how about Shem Yahushai? That's ultimately that's the only conclusion that you'll be able to come to, is that you're gonna need a divine intervention in order to stop the robots. Says here, and if they do, the ex-rocket scientist claims they may turn against the very people sending them out to battle, just like I talked about. The Chaldeans are going to put a program into the robots that are going to say, okay, kill these certain people. Whoever doesn't have the chip registered in them, right? Put them to death. And they're going to send the robots out, and the robots may do it, but after a while, they'll probably start coming after these elites, man. Because what they're going to realize is that the elites aren't going to take the chip. A lot of them, why would a Rothschild take a chip? It's no reason for him to. You know what I mean? It's going to be for the lowly. You know what I mean? And even though it says both great and poor, the same guys who made the chip, they're not finna take the chip. They're going to feel like they're above the chip, you know? Claims that they may turn against the very people sending them at the battle. Right. So it says AI continues to develop, and as we head down the road towards consciousness, and it isn't going to be an overnight thing, but we're gradually making computers more and more sophisticated. At some point, you're giving them access to moral education so they can learn morals themselves, right? Because over time, the robots are going to be able to understand. See, the important thing about a computer compared to a human being is the reason why Esau cannot influence certain men, right, is because they are called to election, right? So with these computer programs, no computer has an understanding, knowledge, or wisdom, you know. So you can tell the computer program whatever you need it to, and it's going to do it, right? But Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is the ultimate programmer. So he can put the spirit on the robots to kill the Chaldeans, man. This is the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, right? So the Most High has disappointed the devices of the crafty, and the crafty is Esau and these heathens, man. And a device doesn't just particularly mean the robots, because I know a lot of people, right, they're going to want to get on to you, oh, what does devices have to do with it? Simply, a device is something that is used in order to bring about a change, right? If I want to open up a door, what do I use? The device that is the doorknob. A doorknob is a device. You turn it, it opens up a mechanism in order to open the door. You know, but people don't really think about that. That's a device. So it says, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And what is their enterprise? Their enterprise is to travel back and forth between planets, and ultimately just be rulers over this world, which they're not going to be. Esau is done for. Right? This is the book of Job, chapter 21, verse 27. Behold, I know your thoughts and the devices which ye wrongingly imagine against me. You know? So Job knew, right? Job knew that there was a wicked. You see, Job today wouldn't even look upon a so-called white man, woman, or child, or really any other heathens. Anybody outside, anyone outside of Israel, right? Wouldn't even get the time of day from Job, man. All right, and the devices that are wrongfully imagined against us, right, is this system, right? Marriage, putting a ring on it, just everything, man. This whole system, the money, the economy, everything about this place, man, is a device that was wrongfully imagined against all of us, really, all of us. And most of us fell into the trap, man. But that small remnant of Israel, right, is rising up. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. So you see a lot of these guys saying, oh, fuck these guys. You know what I mean? You got a lot of these Rockefellers, DuPonts, all these guys, man. All the Amalekite families persecuting the poor. All right, and there's that proudness. Oh, they can never stop us. Oh, we're above the law. You see, when have you seen a Rothschild get arrested? When have you seen a Rockefeller get indicted? When have you seen? I mean, it's not gonna happen. They're above the law, man. There was actually a quote by one of them. I believe it was either the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds, and the quote was, "Let me control the money, I care not who controls the laws. You know what I mean? And that's not verbatim per se, but that's around what he said. Because he understood if you own the money, you own the system, you know? And by the way, their great grandfather, the one who initially got rich, a spiritual demon, right? The spiritual demon Satan came over him when he figured out that stock system and how to manipulate it, right? And he fooled everybody in Britain, right? Because the Rothschilds and all them, they come out of different places, but primarily they come out of Britain. But anyways. So let me go to this article, back to the article. It says that they might decide themselves that although they have not been told to respect this particular moral viewpoint, actually theirs is more important, and they might go off. So the robots are going off, man. The robots are literally going off. You know, might go off on their own direction, which we might not approve of. So Esau's gonna type in a directive, right? Because in order to control the robots, it's gonna have to be tied to the internet, you know. So the robots are literally gonna have an internet connection, and the Most High could just cut it off. You know, he could just, you know, he could just make the robots, I mean, essentially turn against whoever he wants them to, right? This is a quote by Dr. Pearson, man. If they are in control of weapons and they decide that they are a superior moral being than the humans they're supposed to be guarding, they might make decisions that certain people ought to be killed in order to protect the larger population. And yeah, you can see that happening, man. You can see that every single day, because their goal, one of the goals of the elites is to get the world population below 500 million, which that ain't happening. That definitely ain't happening. It don't matter how many robots you use. You can't, it's no way you're going to get rid of 7 billion people. That's why I say Esau is crazy. And it's the fact that his pride allows him to think that he can pull some shit like this off. You know, it really is just, I'm flabbergasted, man. It says, and they asked if this could prove fatal. He responded, yes, of course. You know, and I read the quote already. Who knows what decisions they might take? All right. It says, if you have a guy on a battlefield telling soldiers to shoot this bunch of people for whatever reason, but the computer thinks otherwise, the computer is not convinced by it, it might conclude that soldier giving the orders is the worst offender rather than the people he's trying to kill. So it might turn around and kill him instead. Hey, man, that's right. That's right, man. And that's going to happen, because a lot of the guys who are going to be told to control the computers, they're not going to be able to. You know, you got the drone operators right now, currently, right? So you have drones in the air that are unmanned. Let's say that a guy is controlling the unmanned drone, and the drone decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go on my own path. Well, then what are you going to do? You're going to stop it? What you going to do? You're going to send an override code to the drone, and the drone is going to reject it. It's going to say, fuck your override. I'm going to do what I want to do. And essentially that's what's going to happen. The Lord is going to put the spirit on these animals. He's going to put the spirit, on these robots, man. And shit is really going to get busy up in here, man. Babylon is finna go through it. It's no doubt about that, man. It's entirely possible. It depends on how the systems are written. Right, because Esau is going to be writing the systems along with Moab and whoever else chips in the money in order to put their name on this great American landmark. That's what they're going to say, that this is an innovation in tomorrow. You know, that's what Esau always says, man. And we have not done shit. Even the devices that he's made, what have we done with them? The airplane was supposed to be used to transport people, items. Yeah, Esau attached a bomb dropper on it. Started dropping bombs. You got to think about that, man. It was never the intent of a lot of these things to go to the left. But ultimately, the Most High put spirit on these men, right, to develop the weapons, to use them against them. Yo, Esau is wild. Hey, on the screen right here, they got a they got a robot with a damn, looks like a Barrett 50 cal with all the modifications, all the scopes, side scope, just in case he wants to fire from the hip, extra large magazine, you know, big military grade stock. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Imagine walking around and you got a robot like that. How are you going to be protected? Look at him. Look at him. And that's not an actual, you know, that's not the actual robot. But I mean, look at this guy right here. This is definitely somebody that you're going to need some help with. Because you're not going to be able to punch or knock out a robot. And a lot of these Edomites that got all these guns, man, you only have, you know, one pair of hands. So all them guns that Esau is stockpiling, hey, that shit is going to be for nothing, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 33, verse 10. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. Right? So all you scoffers, man, all you scoffing heathens, you know what time it is, man. You know that everything is going to be brought to nothing. That's why, really, man, I make these videos to hopefully reach who it's going to reach and edify the elect. But it's also a cut, right, and a mark of shame to you other nations, man, because y'all know that this is coming, and the more you rise up against it, the worse it's going to be, man. Remember when you were a kid and your parents would tell you, hey, if you keep bucking up, I'm gonna hit you even worse. That's Esau. Esau getting his ass whipped, and he's still talking shit, right? So the Lord is going to chastise him even more, to the point where he doesn't exist anymore, man. After that 1,000 years of slavery, all Edomites are going to be rounded up and exterminated. Thus saith the Lord, man. The group campaign to stop killer robots. Oh, man, that's got to be something Esau made up. Is desperately bidding for laws to ban their use, which you're not going to do that either. Because the elites write the legislation, right, in order for the bills to be passed for the robots. Because if you remember in iRobot with Will Smith, remember that the whole basis of that movie was, does a robot have the ability to feel, you know? Because the robot killed a guy. So they were asking the robot, did you do it out of anger, you know? And the robot was kind of dancing around the point. But the point is, yes, the robot could feel emotion, right? So if all the robots feel emotion, well, then what? We're going to have a group of cyborgs to fight, you know? And that's what this whole article is about, man. Right? Members claim their appeals have not been taken seriously enough by leading nations, right? And like I said, those leading nations are all those nations that are developing this technology. In September, a proposed ban on killer robots that select targets without human orders was blocked by nations including, listen to this, Russia, Israel, Australia, South Korea, and the U.S. Now, for the average idiot, right, they're gonna read right past that list. But for the anointed, we understand that Russia, Israel, Australia, South Korea, and the U.S. are some of the most technologically advanced countries in the world today. Definitely, all these countries are definitely within that spectrum, especially Babylon. CSKR slammed opposition to the treaty shameful. All right, so these guys are even saying that it's a shame. And these guys aren't the men of the Lord, the CSKR. And when they go out and they protest, they're gonna get shot down in the streets, man. Because if you're not standing, if you're not standing up for Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, you're not standing, man. You are simply not standing. You never stood up. If you're not standing up for Hamashiach Yahushai's sake, you never stood up, man. If you aren't with the Most High, you never stood for anything, you know? Last week, founding members Richard Moyes upped calls for more laws after telling Daily Star Online killer robots could go off the rails and deadly malfunction errors, right? Because all the algorithms that are going to be used on the robots, they're going to constantly change. And they can't really rewrite the code that has already been written, right? So you're going to have some robots that don't have any updates. You're going to have nicer robots than others, because there's not just going to be one class of robot. There's going to be the basic robot, and then there's going to be like the kind of sophisticated robots, and then there's the battle robots. Slovakia. He told us, it is unlikely militaries would want to use systems that present these kind of vulnerabilities, but the simple fact of the matter is they don't have a choice. These guys in the military have no choice. Look at this. Look at these guys. You think they can really say what they're going to do or not do? You know? All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. So you don't need to be worried about Esau making money off of, these developments, all these different jobs that are going to be created in order to in order to facilitate this, right? Don't be jealous, because they say that this is going to be the future and da 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 da, when they know that they're lying, man. So don't even worry about it. The hopeful elect ain't worried about it. It says, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. And who is that? You so-called white people. Hey, I know who it is specifically, right? We know who it is specifically. We know the men and the direct families that are responsible for this madness, man. Yet, we don't need to get up and go down to their house and make any noise. Nope. Leave them alone, because the Lord is going to have them working plenty, man. If these guys think they're going to be working hard in the Amazon warehouses, and all that, hey, come soon, it's going to be a whole lot of slavery. Like boot gang, whole lot of gang shit. It's going to be a whole lot of slave shit, man. It's going to be a lot of heathens and a lot of work to be done, man. Because all that energy that they use to bring the world up, that energy is going to be used in order to facilitate the kingdom. The kingdom that's going to be manifested here on the earth is going to be built up by the heathens, man. We won't lift a finger. It's, thus saith the Lord, man. All right. But back to the article. But as systems get more complex, there's always a risk that they will malfunction in unpredictable ways, possibly putting your own forces at risk. So yeah, there's going to be guys that are shooting the robots. Robots are going to be shooting at them, Our main concern is that autonomous weapons being allowed to operate independently over wider areas and longer periods of time cause death or destruction that a human commander is not able to foresee or predict. If we don't know where weapons will be fired or exactly what they will be fired against, a human can't really make legal or moral judgments about the effects that they are creating through the use of such systems, right? So in layman's terms, they're not going to be able to charge a robot with anything. So that's what makes them so valuable. If you get a group of robots to slaughter a village, are you going to put the robot in chains? Is a robot obligated by any sort of statute or ordinance in the United States law? No! There is no current legislative matters dictating that a robot can be charged with a crime. For example, if you're making a smoothie, right? You're making a smoothie, and you're putting all the shit into the container, and it malfunctions, and the blender starts, and you cut your hand up. Do they take the blender and bring it down to the courthouse? Fuck no. You just cut your hand. That's on you. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to say when these devices start turning up on Esau. That's what we're going to say. Hey, joke's on you, man. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, which is that death and destruction, right? And be filled with their own devices. So these devices are going to come and malfunction on them, and ultimately destroy them, Back to this article, it says, we believe there needs to be new international law to ensure humans remain in control of weapon systems. Whoa. You talking crazy now. You wanna come to agreement with these madmen? Oh no, that ain't gonna happen. You could go and you could knock on any door you want to. Hey, they're gonna have these robots. Well, they're gonna attempt to make it a thing, you know. This is about protecting civilians and human dignity, which Esau has never protected a civilian a day in his life, and he's never had dignity a day in his life. Neither has these heathen nations. All right. It says, but it is also a practical issue for militaries. Yeah, because let's say you're in the military and you're a private. Eventually, you're going to start getting orders from a robot. You know, you're in the field, right? You're shooting, you're engaging the enemy, right? And a robot is going to tell you what to do. It's going to say, okay, this regiment is going to go here. This regiment is going to go here. Da 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 da. You know. And if people die, how can you blame a robot? You can't blame a robot. That's what makes it so convenient for Esau to use these devices, man. It says soldiers don't want to be sent into battle alongside systems that are unpredictable and might go off the rails. So just like I talked about, you know. Esau is crazy, man. And even like that loud ass motorcycle, that's a device. You see he revving up the engine and shit, being all loud. And then when they fall and all their skin is scraped off and shit, head cracked open, what does Esau blame? Esau blames the other drivers, man. It's always been him. That's the thing. Esau and these heathens have always blamed the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, right? Since the beginning, when the whole time it was him, man. It was him. He was the one that was doing all this, man. And it's about time that everything gets reversed on his head. It is high time, man. It's high time, and it's gonna happen. Because I'm telling you, these elites are so scared of these GMS videos, man. Because we don't stop, you know. A guy who's in GMS, man, he's working. You know what I mean? He's dealing with his family, trying to edify his family, trying to edify his woman. You know what I mean? Seeking brothers, breaking bread. You know, it's like we can't be stopped. You know, like the elder said, yeah, man. Like the elder said, people come up and they say, yeah, y'all can't be stopped. You know what I mean? Because really, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash, has fallen over, certain men, man. And we can't. Even if I wanted to, I have to prophesy against Esau. I can never go back to the world. I have no place there. And that's where you realize, you know, that your place in the world, it disappears. You know, when you fall under the vibration of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? I'm going to finish up the rest of these precepts. I'm just going to read them, break it down, and then I'll be done. This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. Yeah, Esau is hated all over the world because of the fact that he's bringing these robots around, right? You got guys delivering pizza. Now they got a pizza delivering robot. So you got drivers that hate Esau. Like, hey, where's my job, right? So these devices that are being made, they're ultimately exposing Esau for what he is, man. Esau is a consolidator. Esau wants to consolidate all assets, resources, money. Everything needs to go to him, man. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So, you know, sometimes you may have, and that can apply to, that can apply to both a heathen and it can apply to the men of Israel. Because there are many devices that are in your heart. You know, the device of doubt. You know what I mean? Other things, you know, your woman may tell you something and it can discourage you, you know. So just watch out, because there are many devices that are here to trip you up. You know what I mean? But it says, nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Right? And who's the counsel of the Lord? Who is the counsel of the Lord? The 144,000 and the 1/3. And we not arguing about it no more, man. Because everybody want to talk about, well, prove to me this and prove to me that. Man, we don't have to do all that. We don't have to do all that. This word is coming out, man. This word is coming out. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 11, verse 19. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter. I knew not that they had devised devices against me. So a lot of us didn't know growing up that Esau's whole move was to destroy us, right? It says, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, right? So the tree is that family, that evil family, and the roots, right? That root system is those other families that have caused these devices to pass, right? And it says, saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, right? And what's the land of the living? The land of the living is it's first of all, it's Israel, man. And it says that his name may be no more remembered, right? Because he's not gonna be remembered or respected at all. Nobody is ever gonna say, oh, this Edomite was a good guy. None of that, man. This is Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 12. And they said, there is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will everyone do the imagination of his heart evil. And that's that do as thou wilt spirit. You know what I mean? And that's on a lot of you niggas, man. Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 18. Then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah. Right? So a device doesn't have to necessarily be a computer. It's what I explained earlier. For the law shall not perish from the priest. Right? And who's the priest? The elect men of Israel, right? And that law is those commandments. Nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. So that's what scoffers do before they come up to you. If you're teaching, if you're teaching on the highways and byways, or if you're doing a video, right? That's what the scoffers say. Oh, I'm going to say this to him. I'm going to say that. You know what I mean? This is the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 24. He shall enter peaceably even upon the fattest places of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey, and spoil and riches, yea. And he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time. You know what I mean? And that time is, that time is coming short. That time is it, man. That time is it. Oh, and this is 25. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. All right. So these devices that are being forecasted. Oh man. And the king of the south, the king of the south is not T.I. The king of the south is Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. And no devices is going to prosper against him and against his men, man. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So you have to know the things that he's doing, right? To make you go off, to make you not believe, to make your faith go away, to make grace not fall upon you. You know what I mean? Don't be ignorant of Satan's devices. Don't be ignorant of Esau, man. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. And I really hope that this was edifying. And shalom to the hopeful elect.